Here's my top 10 barbaric Islamic traits. Number 1. Female genital mutilation, otherwise known as FGM. This is their practice of sending their girls for their gift. Their gift at 7 or 8 years of age usually is to be sent and have their legs pulled apart and have their clitoris and labia sliced out in screaming agony with razor blades usually, or scalpels. It kills millions of girls. It leaves girls unable to have normal sex, leaves girls sterile. Lots of girls die through shock while it's being done and heart failure, but they continue doing it and have continued doing it for 1400 years. Number 2, halal meat. Yes, halal non-stun meat is the only Islamic way to get your meat. The animal is strung up by its rear hooves and its throat is sliced deeply open, and it is either left hanging there or is left on a table to take about 15 minutes to die in utter terror. Number 3, killing dissenters of Islam. Yes, anyone that argues with the Prophet or tells the truth about the Prophet's beastly habits, his war crimes, his murders, his perversions, is liable to summary execution. This also applies to opposing tribes or ideologies, of course. Number 4, killing or flogging gays and rape victims. Yes, to be gay or bisexual is strictly forbidden under Islam, and gays are routinely hanged or beheaded or occasionally put into jail for 20 years just for being suspected of being gay. They might not actually be gay, but despite the Prophet having a liking for young boys, probably tens of hundreds of thousands of gays certainly, and rape victims, helpless rape victims, are executed by Islam. Number 5, child marriage. Yes, child marriage going on in the USA and UK and Europe today is the habit of usually poor families selling their 6 and 7 year old or 8 year old girls to rich old men to then rape them. Quite often they do die on their wedding nights or suffer such damage internally to their womb and to their cervix, they're sterile or bleed to death just after their wedding night. This is common knowledge. There's plenty about this on the internet. Yes, as we know, for 1400 years, Muhammad and his followers usually mass execute all the men, or have done in the past, mass execute vast numbers of boys and men. Anyone basically who was capable of fighting or resisting, they used to round them up together and execute them. This is told about extensively in the Quran, thereby instructing other followers, even today, how to go about it. This is proof positive that terrorism fills the Quran. Terrorism, barbarism, racism fills the Quran. Number 8. Yes, as we know, Bachibazi boys are all over the Far East, all over the Muslim communities. This is the habit of poor, rightless, virtually, boys being used for anal sex by rich old men. It's commonly called Bachibazi boys. Number 9. Human slavery. Human slavery is condoned all through the Islamic ideologies. The Quran, Muhammad himself was a slave dealer. It often uses the phrase in the Quran, by the right hand, everything that your right hand owns. This is the whip hand. Slave master's whip hand. So therefore children, women, slaves are all owned by the whip hand, the right hand. 10. Yes, racism against blacks and Hindus, and indeed supremacism against all other peoples, is endemic in Islam and has been so for 1450 years. As President Trump quite rightly said in a TV interview before he was inaugurated, yes, Islam really does hate us. It's hated all other peoples, in fact, for 1400 years. Ever since the Prophet's first visions or delusions in 627 AD told his followers they had the right to go and kill all other peoples and to rob their stuff. It really does save us. See you guys.
discontent in this country. It just shows there's millions and millions and millions of people in this country who are sick to death with being treated like second-class citizens in a country that they've worked for, in a country they've built, in a country their families over the centuries have sacrificed and died for. We have had enough. We've also seen with Brexit, you know, I cannot explain to you the happiness I felt. I stayed up till 6 in the morning and it was a sunny day the next day, so I was sitting there completely exhausted from watching all the coverage, but I had the sun beaming down on me and I thought, this is a new dawn for Britain, this is a new dawn from the West, and it's all uphill since now, to actually have thought that we had the ability and the courage and the patriotism to vote ourselves out of the corrupt leftist European Union that's flooding our continent with migrants, making us second-class citizens, taking the sovereignty that was hard won at the Battle of Britain, at Normandy, and so on. We actually have freed ourselves from the European Union. So God bless the British people. It's an amazing result. But it just shows you, UKIP, they have 4 million votes, Brexit, and then we had in America. Who stayed up to watch that till God knows what time in the morning? Like I said, I've been winding all the leftists up, all them scum that are around there, Labour Party, and saying, how does it feel? The most powerful man in the world is a right-wing extremist.
Women in Islam are worth that. In Islam, I'm worth nothing. Nothing at all. I'm a second-class citizen, and the false prophet, Muhammad, said that I'm deficient in intelligence. So, I mean, that's quite something coming from a 50-year-old man who was illiterate and had a child bride. I don't know if he thinks I'm deficient in intelligence or the other way around, but that's what the Muslim community, and that's how women are treated. All this nonsense about the veil is liberating. What's liberating about having to cover up head to toe like a bin bag? There's nothing liberating about that. I don't need to cover up. And if they're worried about any of our men sexually attacking their women if they don't cover up, don't you bloody worry, because our men are civilised and we don't need to do those kind of things. The time has come, and it's coming, and the tides really are turning, and you can see it. Which one of you here would rather be called a little name, sticks and stones, and have their children abused as a result of staying silent? Because let me tell you right now, they can call us what they want, but we have a duty to not let them bully us. We're giving them our kids. Do you know, every one of us that stays silent and does nothing, we might as well take the little precious hands of our children and put them into the hands of a dirty, horrible Muslim grooming paedophile, because our silence has amounted to decades of kids being abused. These kids have had their lives taken, their innocence taken. They've got nothing left. Some of these kids have had children by these men because they've been raped. I saw a report about a girl in Telford who bore a child from so many different grooming attacks she didn't know who the father was. There were 9 suspects and DNA testing showed it wasn't any of the 9. Just put that into your minds for a minute. It's a horrible thought and we don't want to process it. We don't want to process that because then we think, oh, what if that was my daughter? Yeah, exactly. Picture it. Picture your daughter coming home and saying, this is what's happened to me and I'm bearing a child from 9 monsters, I don't even know which one. What's everyone doing? Where is everyone? Why are we the only people standing here sticking up for these kids? If it was one of mine, these horrible bastards would be hanging from a lamppost. We have a duty, and Britain First will give you all a voice. We'll give you all a voice. This movement is a young movement. It started with this man here and a couple of others who just said, you know what, enough's enough. We need to do something. No one's going to do it. And let me tell you, no one else is going to do it. You can look around this country. There is no other movement that will stand here and say what I'm saying to you now. None. No one will say it. No one. There's a person, he'll say it, and you'll say it. People, but movement, there's no one. So collectively, we need to come together. And that's what Britain First is. It's all of ours. It's mine, it's yours, and it's as much yours as it is mine. It's our family, it's our bond. It will bring us together. We need to unite, and we need to do it now. Not say, oh, well, next weekend the X Factor's on or the football's on, so we can't make it. We have to come out and do something now. Because I'm telling you, right now, somewhere in this country, there will be a young girl who is being ploughed with alcohol and ploughed with drugs like heroin and crack, and is being systematically targeted and raped. Right now, as I stand here, that is happening. And I don't care who this little girl is or little boy, she's not mine and she's not yours. But I tell you what, I would die for every single one of the kids in this country, and that is what we need to take going forward. We just can't afford to stay silent anymore. We just can't. And the tides are turning. Look across Europe. Things are changing. People are rising up. People have had enough. And I am inviting every single one of you to stand with me. The only way I will end this fight is if I'm taken out of it. And I'm telling you now, they can lock me up, they've locked up Paul, they've arrested me, they can come after us as much as they like. It will never, ever stop me. It will never stop Paul, and I hope to God it will never stop all of you. Stand with me, my brothers and sisters, and let's, if no one else is going to do it, we will look after our kids and take back our country.
But where is this going to end? What do you think's going to happen? We've running out of time. We've got no time left. I've said, when I come out of Pentonville prison in mid-January, I put out a video and I said, for God's sake, get off your backsides and do something. We are running out of time. Doing nothing, sitting on the sidelines is no longer an option. By sitting on the sidelines doing nothing, you are just as bad, because you know what's going on, you are just as bad as these traitors who are deliberately undermining our country in every way they can.